Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you all after such a long time. Hope this new year has been a wonderful start for all of you. For those of you who have joined for the first time, I would like to tell you that we conduct these open con discussions on every Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. On Wednesdays, we talk about various challenges related to singles, and on Fridays, I conduct open call discussions on challenges related to the single parents. And on Sundays, Anamika and Akarma, they conduct the open call discussion on issues which are related to various relationship challenges that people face. And these are like we discuss on the call itself about people's challenges. So it's not like a presentation or any kind of knowledge sharing thing, but हम लोग कॉल पे ही people who come and join these calls, lot of their answers, like lot of their questions, their queries gets answered. So this open call is like completely free and you are safe to discuss anything that you are facing. So I welcome you aboard. Today's topic is about, especially as single parents, we have so many dilemmas, especially about parenting and everything. So today's topic, we will discuss about, how to talk to your children or, break that news that you are getting divorced or you are going for a separation, because this is really, really very important, especially when children are young. It is really important to understand, that how will this affect, what are we going to say, the kind of words we use, what messages we give while we break this news. So those of you who are here, I would like to ask you people if at all you have experienced this kind of situation wherein you might had to, disclose about you are getting divorced or you are getting separated. So how was it for you? How did you disclose it to your child? What did you say to them, and what was the reaction? What was the reaction of the child? Would you like to share your experiences? Anybody?
Sure, I can share Vanchika.
Yeah, please go ahead, Prachi.
So when I separated, my son was barely 5 years old at that point, and even I wasn't sure whether it's going to lead to divorce or whether we would reconcile or what would happen. And it was quite sudden. The separation wasn't planned; it was quite sudden. So he didn't know, and I didn't tell him anything when I moved back to my parents' house at that point. And then slowly, as things unraveled, and he also kind of found out that we're not going back again to that house. We're not going to meet his father. I mean, we are not going to live with his father again. So I know that I should have probably handled it in a better way, as in given him some what do you say advance notice that this is going to happen. But I never found the chance to do it because everything was very sudden for me also. But when I made the decision of definitely going for a divorce, that was when I started telling him that this is what happens, that sometimes parents, that is a husband and a wife, they start not living together. That doesn't mean that you can't meet your father. It means that you can meet him whenever you want. You can speak to him when you want. But it is quite unlikely that we would live together again. And it was difficult for him because he when I first told him, he was 5.5, close to 6 years old. But I kept on reinforcing it again and again, the same thing I would tell him. And he kind of got it, I think, over the time, to the extent that now he knows for sure that we are not going to be together again. And there were some other complications wherein his father stopped all communication with him. Now he doesn't get to speak with his father also. And So at some point, I also took my son to therapy. I wanted him to be able to speak to a third person about the issue, and uh, get some insights into what's going on in that small 7 year 8 year old boy's brain. So the therapist analysis was also that he's coping all right given the circumstances. And now he knows that we are not going to be together. He has a lot of question now. He's 9.5 years old. So he has a lot of questions about marriage and about why people get separated. He keeps asking me what exactly happened, that now you and my father, you are not together anymore. Why did you get married if you don't like each other? So he has a lot of questions, but what I try to do is to be as honest as I can without bad mouthing his father, and giving him as much information as I think that he can digest at this point. So sometimes there are tears, sometimes he gets very hurt by what I say, but I just welcome his feelings. I let him go through it, because I feel that no matter what I do, I can't replace what he has lost by not being with his father. But what I can do is be present for him as much as I can. So I think that and I hope that he'll be able to cope through this, because now that he's 9.5 years old, the all the peer pressure, the bullying in the school might also start at this point, wherein people keep on asking him, where is your father, why don't you stay with your father? So all these questions are, I'm sure they're going to increase in frequency as well as in severity. But so that's why I think that he's on the right track, but still I wanted to get perspective into how other parents are dealing with this, because of which I joined this call.
That's amazing to know, and thank you so much for sharing everything, Prachi. And when I was listening to you, I could understand that the kind of situation you must be going through while talking about this whole thing with your child. And very important things that I could point out from your whatever conversation you said is, first of all, we need to be very, very careful about the age and the kind of maturity a child has while we are disclosing this kind of news. And especially, it is said that a child who is between the age of 6 and 12 years old, so like they have a lot of curiosity, they start understanding and realizing a lot of things. So they will ask a lot of questions. So it is really important to not badmouth your spouse, either it's husband or the wife, because that will not solve anything. And why should we do that? Why are, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हम लोग अपने इमोशनल हमारे इमोशंस को कंट्रोल नहीं कर पाते हैं, and उस वजह से हम लोग कुछ भी उल्टा सीधा बच्चों को बोल देते हैं, फिर वो बच्चों के माइंड में वो ऐसा इम्प्रिंट हो जाता है ना. दीज आर सच क्रूशियल ईयर्स, दीज आर लाइक फाउंडेशन स्टेज वी कॉल. So it's very important, and also not oversharing a lot of information when you know that these things, or if I say something, this kind of thing to my child, it will affect him very badly. So it's better to be honest, crisp and clear and short as well, like not sharing too many details. ठीक है, जो क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है, अगर बच्चा सामने से कोई क्वेश्चन आपको पूछ रहा है, देन यू उसी के रिलेटेड आंसर देना है. डोंट कीप बीटिंग अराउंड द बुश, so that the thing that you said ki you were honest with your child and you even took him to therapy, that is another very good thing that you did. Because a lot of times ये सब situation में children need therapists, they need professionals to guide. Because कई बार as parents we cannot do that what professionals or experts can help us in. So it's really, really important that when you recognize that your child is not able to cope up with this situation, it's better to take him to a therapist or a psychologist or anybody that could help to over child help the child to overcome and face this situation in a better way. Thank you so much, Prachi, for sharing. Anybody else who wants to share something?
Yes. Mm, I
Yeah,
have
sharing.
two
Go ahead.
kids, and I too went through this. I haven't divorced yet, but I'm going through a separation, and one is 8 years and one is 10 years. And they are like, "Why are you not coming to father's house? Why are you staying here?" and all. And they stay in both house. Like sometimes they will stay with me, sometimes they will stay with their father. And I told them about this, about the divorce and all. And they were, why are you? They want to know the reason why, and I can't say why, because yeah, you said no. Uh, we must hide something from them because they will feel bad about their father. So I can't talk about them, talk about that things. But the elder one is like uh, little angry with me. You don't want to come here. You are not coming to father's house? You are not staying there. You can stay there. What is the matter and all? It makes me so sad. I don't know what to do. Yes.
Okay, okay. So, see, especially when we talk about teenagers, so they are like already they are themselves going through so many changes, emotionally, physically. So, therein, it's best, to like don't hide in the way. I would say that be honest with them, but don't also badmouth your husband. You can say that, it didn't work out or something like that, because if you talk with teenagers as friends, it will definitely help. Whereas with younger children, you can tell them like my daughter is currently 3 years old, and when I left my husband's place and came back to my parents' place, she was only 3 months old. And just one or two times she has been asking me this question, that mama papa kahan hai. So I just told her that वो कोई और जगह पे रहते हैं, वो अलग जगह पे रहते हैं, मम्मा अलग जगह पे रहती है। तो वहां से देन, बिकॉज मे बी शी स्मॉल, अभी उसके दिमाग में इतना आइडिया नहीं है। एंड दूसरा, मैं उसको इसीलिए जल्दी ले आई थी बिकॉज समवेयर आई अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग, कितना भी हम लोग वो एक बॉन्ड डेवलप, अगर कुछ टाइम बाद हम लोग सेपरेट होते हैं तो ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम होता बच्चे के लिए भी और मेरे लिए भी, यू गेट यूज टू दोज पैटर्न्स ऑल्सो देन। एंड द चाइल्ड ऑल्सो इज सीइंग ऑल काइंड ऑफ अब्यूजिव बिहेवियर जो भी घर में हो रहा है, एंड इट रियली अफेक्ट्स द चाइल्ड। सो इट्स बेटर दैट जितना जल्दी हो सके, अगर आपको उस टाइम पे ही रियलाइजेशन हो जाता है कि नहीं, this relationship is not going to work out, it is a toxic relationship, it's harming me and my child, so it's better to take a decision. So I really understand your concern. And have you thought about, taking help of somebody, your family member or a therapist? Like Prachi said, she took help of a therapist. So have you considered other uh, things, like how can you go about helping your elder one with this situation?
Yeah, I was thinking because I am going through a I am seeing a psychologist and psychiatrist because of my depression and all. So I thought I would take him one day and talk to them. If they talk to him, he might understand what is going on and all. I told both of them. I told them that we can't stay together because there's some issues and all, but they want to know what is the correct reason, but that I can't tell them. So I am thinking of taking them to a psychologist.
That is a very good option to think about, because as psychologists, they are experts and they know exactly how to handle these kind of situations, And as far as being a parent is concerned, I can very well understand your situation, about thinking so much of, what to tell or not to tell the child. So it's always best to, just be honest and just say like it didn't work out, or people change, we don't, there is no compatibility, not compatibility, but using words or sentences that will help the child to understand in a crisp manner.
Sherim, if I can add something here. So, because your kids are also going and staying with your ex, right, with your spouse. So, I
Yes,
think, here it would really help if you and him both can sit the kids down and tell them that, we have some issues because of which we can't stay together. That doesn't mean that, our love for you or our whatever relationship we have with you is going to be changed because of that. But this is the situation, and we all of us need to accept it and try to find the best way possible. If you can get his support also to come on the same page as far as the kids are concerned, at least then that would really help you a lot. I mean, therapy is great. I took my son for 3 sessions with a therapist, after which the therapist himself said that he doesn't need any more sessions. But at the same time, our kids are very, very, perceptive. They they observe a lot of, how we are behaving and how our reactions are, even when they ask you a question and they say how your expressions change or how your body language changes. They can pick up that you're not comfortable talking about this or something like that. I'm not saying this about you, but in general, when kids ask us something and we're not comfortable with it, they they quickly pick it up. Yeah. So I think it'll really help if your spouse can also pitch in. And the other thing is that you have to tell them the same thing repeatedly, and also introduce them to other single parents groups and kids, so they know that they are not alone in this. Because what happened with my child was, because I was in Pune earlier, and then I moved back to Nagpur. So Nagpur is a small town. All kids here have very traditional families, mostly joint families, with all the with mummy, papa, grandparents, siblings, and all that. So he used to feel very left out, thinking that I'm the only one who doesn't stay with his father. So when I showed him, all these groups that I'm a part of and all these kids, I helped him meet these kids and showed him that you're not alone. There are many parents who decide not to stay with each other, and our happiness should not depend on whether we are together or not. There are various different sources of happiness. So that's what really helped him to understand and to come to terms with this fact that it's a single parent family. We are a single parent family, and there are many other families like these. So because I think the age group that your kids are in, the peer pressure and the that need to fit in is very high at 8-10 years old. So that's why they are going through this. So once they come to know that they are not alone, there are many other kids who go through this, and you need to normalize separation and divorce for them, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Prachi, for pointing this out. I was just going to say this, like, having a community of single parents is really very important. Also, when we ourselves don't accept the situation, then obviously our children, they are very receptive, as you said. They understand everything, so they absorb whatever we are feeling. And when they see us reacting in a certain way in this kind of situations, they understand very well. So it's really important that we ourselves first accept it, and then if we accept, our children will automatically accept it. It will be easier for them to go through this whole process. So thank you so much for sharing, Prachi and Sharon. Anybody else who would like to share?
Yeah,
Doctor?
Vanshika, can I say, share
Hi.
a recent
Yeah, yeah,
conversation?
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. It happened, I think, some 10 or 12 days back with my son, who will be 5 years in coming April. And I have been separated from my spouse for around a year now. So initially, it was very difficult for me to talk about his father in front of me, in front of him, because it was very triggering for me. And it used to bring up my own insecurities and fears. Then slowly, as I went into therapy, and I was like talking to Sachin and Anamika over it, slowly I came over my insecurities, and now I'm in a place where I can sit with him and give him a space to talk about his father. So this happened, it went like this. So my son wanted to know that why isn't his father coming to see us. So I agree here that honesty is very important in all these scenarios. So I just told him that how you don't like to be with everyone every day, how you also want to be alone, and how you want to spend your own time, like drawing or painting. So, like that, there are people who like to stay alone, and they don't want to be surrounded with, a lot of people. So maybe your father also is, that kind of person, and he likes to be on his own for most of the time, and maybe because of that he is, you know not seen anywhere near us. So um, I tried to explain this to him in an age appropriate manner, and for the time being, his query, he was satisfied with my answer. So after that, he didn't ask me anything. So I think otherwise, as someone was
Hello.
pointing out, ki kids.
Your voice is getting stuck,
Yeah, hello.
Dr.
Am I
Sippy.
audible? Okay, I'll
Yeah.
join. I'll join again. Okay. I think some problem is there.
Okay. Somebody else wishes to share before Dr. Sippy starts sharing again. I think Kakali, you were saying something.
Hi, good evening, all.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, so I joined a little late. My son is going to be 9 years this next week, and we separated from I separated from actually, he left us in when we were in Mumbai during COVID. During my mother passed away in Kolkata, and COVID travel blockage was there. So I could not travel to Kolkata, and I was there. And the moment, June, my mother passed away in July 2020. And then just after 10-14 days, he suddenly booked his ticket and my son's ticket to take him to Kerala. That is his native place, his father's place, where that year in January, his mother also passed away. When I visited, we all visited their place. We had, and there they wouldn't allow me in the ritual. And that time I was treated really bad. That time it opened my eyes that this relationship has ended for me after 6 years of marriage. And then anyway, I was hopeful that we will talk about it and it can be sorted out, because it was mainly for it was all only financial talk. Issue was their the main, because I was always working and he was not. And then when people started questioning, and or when I was not uh, in proper financial condition, he was started blaming me. The boy got affected. Everyday abuse, everyday blame, shame game. And the boy also used to abuse me along with him when he was just 5. So, and he got faced 2 accidents, my boy, with the nanny when I was out of for work. And there were 15 stitches on his back, and then a head injury. But all they wanted is to cover protect the nanny, because it was sent from their relatives. So they didn't want to highlight it. And then, but my child was suffering, I could not bear it. And then with me, whatever was there, I was talking and talking with him again and again, and trying to mend it. But Ian boosting his ego, that taking it on me, all my fault. And but then I could not see that the child is changing, how beautiful my child was, and how he is changing. He was born outside India. I worked there. I took care of everything, like medical, health, finance, stay, and relationship. Was that time only after marriage I moved there. And that time only I was suffering inside. I knew that it is not going to work. There is no connection, communication whatsoever, cultural, I mean, and no match. But within 1 month, I was having that baby. But that is only the positive thing happened, I think. So 2014, 13 I got married. 14 he was born. 16 we moved from outside to Mumbai, and then within 2 years of like all my I mean we were almost like um, all their relatives, in-laws, and were in my family, and I was like an outsider. And then 2020 when the COVID happened, and also the business I helped him to set in, so that he is respected in front of his family. He gave it, like moved me out of that partnership, and he gave it to someone, some of his school friend, and that also went off because of the COVID. It was a travel business setup. And then he moved during 2020 January, when his mother passed away suddenly in a heart attack while traveling in Mona area. And then we traveled there, and then I was like treated very badly, including physical abuse that started, and in front of my boy. He saw that. And when I came back, he also came back to Mumbai, and then again we started talking about it. And then when he booked my baby's ticket also, then I told him he will not go. And then he was just 5 years old. He also said he will not go. And I think my husband was also a little scared that something bad will happen to him again, because suddenly his mother has passed away, and my mother has passed away just 10 days ago, and he's leaving us like that during COVID, when I have left the job because I wanted to be with my son at home. Because that he abused me in front of that nanny thing, that I am blaming it on the nanny, but it's my fault that my child had an accident, two accidents. Anyway, I was all, I mean, cool on only on talking mode. And then he left. And then 1 year I just um, gathered myself, all my strengths, and that was my house, which I bought, like our house, but I bought it with all my savings money from outside work. And I rented that small flat. I painted it. I tried to rent it. I spoke to the neighbors and sold most of the things. Took my child, and after waiting for 6 from July to October, I waited. I thought he'll come back. He is just visiting his father. He'll come back, but no, he was not to come back, and he started asking me, "You leave everything and come to Kerala." So I was fearing to death, and then I took my child and came back to my native place in Kolkata, where I have my own um, place to stay. My brothers sisters are around, settled. They knew that things are not well, but they didn't knew that it will never work out. And we have never seen this kind of situations. And I married late, so they were all happy that I got settled. I mean, like the all Indian family, most of the Indian family will think, after a lot of years of work and struggle for 15, 20 years helping sister, brother, family. So they were happy that I got settled. But then it happy I have we have a child and all everything. Then when we came, like 6 year 5 years 6 year, we I came here, and it is almost 2 years. He has threatened me and all that, but now court cases are going on, so I'm protected. Those 3 4 court cases, like uh, high court custody, all these, that, all those are going on. I'm fighting for that. I have joined again my old company here. So my father, he is now like some he they my father also stays nearby with my brother sister. He also comes sometimes here. He's very aged, but these are my support system. But it's me and my son, basically we are supporting each other. So when initially, I'm sharing this for all, like initially when I came, I had no clue. Used to blame myself, depressed, crying, and I'm stalking him. I'm trying to get back him that it's all my fault, or how my child is going to see, how the world is going to look at me, how my family is going to treat me. So I used to throw a lot of tantrums, aggressive anger, beating, hitting, throwing, all that. And then I consulted psychologist, by talking for me and my son. And then he said, it is more than him, it is you. It is not him. He is strong enough. He is okay with it. He is absolutely fine. He has chosen you. He has chosen this life. He knew that if he would have gone to there in Kerala, his life will not be the same. He is happy. He is enjoying his school. I got him into a school after a lot of struggle. How it is for not single mother not working, and not even have the legal paper sorted out. It's very difficult, especially city like Yes.
Yes,
So
yes,
I
I have
think
faced this. I have faced this situation.
yeah. So we can always seek that legal help for that also. All the schools are like, I don't know. It's a pity, but anyway, that also got sorted out. I think I will cut it short. But my son is 9 years now. He is a strong source of support. I mean, it's other way around. I think it's not him. It's me. So I'm trying all the way, and luckily I have been connected with to the right people like this group. Slowly, I hope we will all do it. But again, when one day I feel okay, it's all sorted. I know I have told him that it was his choice. He chose his father. He chose his native place. He chose not to work, and he chose to stay there and work with their friends and stay there. So he chose them with over his family, and I chose you. So we are together, and this is our now. We will see how we can grow strong and be happy. And we also, love is not one kind. So you may not have a father, but you have a mother who will be your father, mother both, and you have a grandfather, mama, mashi, everyone around. So that is how he understood, and I have given him a lot of good hobbies. He is very energetic boy. Sometimes I feel like he's like doctor says, like I was checking with doctor if he has this attention deficiency, because he is very much into many things, sleeping less. So I am always worried about his mental health than physical health. Like inside, if he is growing any sort of self self doubt or anything because of a single parent upbringing, am I doing the right thing? It is always, I think much more than him. And he always lightens my mood, and he's so I told initially in one call, the psychologist said that he was taking it on him, that it was because of him. So that doubt got clear on 2 3 calls, and after that he was a very happy go lucky child, like lucky boy. And also one of a time he tried to manipulate me over that, and that also we discussed and spoken about, that we are not going to take going to take this advantage of the situation, neither him neither me, neither of us going to act as a crybaby, because we are like, oh, what will happen to us, like that. Many people have some people doesn't have any child. Some people have adopted children. Some people doesn't have parents even. Some people have parents, but they don't even know their names. So people are, lot of kind of people are there. Human can have many good relationship, and good life under the sun, under the moon, in this earth. So that is how we discuss in all sort of things. I don't know if I'm making sense. I have given him hobby of playing chess, painting together with me. We read, we watch movie. We are more like friends. Though I love to teach children. I love to, academically also, but I don't teach him, because I think that will put a strain on our relationship, because he will always look at me, that strict mother who always wanted him to be careeristic, successful, and academically good. But he's very good academically. I miss teaching him, but when he comes to me, only then I teach him. Otherwise, I have got him good tutors, or I take help from my brother or sister in something to guide him. Other painting teacher I have kept for him, but otherwise on life, he teaches me, I teach him. We care and share for each other. That is how it is going on. But again, my doubt is, how I can get rid of this self doubt, that am I doing right things, am I not doing right things, why I come back to go to psychologist, or go to crystal therapy, or go to this kind of calls, or I reading whole day. I'm half of the day I'm thinking that I'm doubting myself, that I'm not doing things right, it is going to go out of my hand. And even in the court cases, actually, the judge, surprisingly, I mean, they have taken some money from the other side. So he told me in open court, he's going to be, your child is going to be a drug addict, growing up, because because he's growing without a father. So that hits me so hard. And so how many this kind of topics is going to come up now, when once he grows up, and when I'm not there, because I have married very I mean, later age. So I think I always feel that I will not be there, and I don't know how my child is going to face these things, and how can I make him stronger, and will the world or change for the single woman like that, or struggling like that uh, in anywhere in the world. So these are my thoughts. So why I keep on keep coming back, and so what I have not done yet, which I should do for a closure on this. I think after the case is resolved, that will give me a definite path, but it is still going on, and the custody order is also pending, and domestic violence, it's going on forever, forever, forever. So that's all. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sorry for taking much time.
No problem. Thank you so much, Kakli, for sharing so many things, and I feel like you have been through this journey and so many tough situations altogether, but still you stood up for yourself, you stood up for your child. And what I would say is that everything is within us. So the thing is that when parents themselves, they are not accepting the situation, then the self doubt comes. Definitely there will be situations, lot of situations will come, and they will keep on coming. They are not going to stop, neither for you nor for your child. And when your child has accepted it so well, then why not you? You still, are you feeling guilty about something? I feel somewhere that you still feel guilty about a lot of things. You have not forgiven yourself. It's like you are blaming yourself that all these things happened. But at the same time, if we look at the other side, what would have happened if you would have not taken this step, and you would have just remained in that situation with your husband? Would that situation be better, or would this situation is better? Would your child be happier living in that kind of abusive environment, or this situation is better for him?
Uh, I am concentrating on one point. Like when I am like all good, all confident, all happy, we are having great time. We are going on. We even with our struggle, we are going on with family support. Suppose sometime these toxic talks or thoughts, or comment or behavior, even in school, like he's facing in school, or I'm facing some in social context. So I am dealing with it, and I am struggling it with so much, and then I'm reading, and like I'm trying to get knowledge how to overcome it. So I'm thinking that he's just 8 years old, 9 years old. So how many this kind of situation he is going to face, that is just because of no fault of his or mine. That is because of the social, like socially how we deal with it. Because I cannot change the outside world, then how I make him stronger? It's on, like, our perspective is clear to him that he has chosen his life, and we have chosen this, and there is a fight for it. We have to fight till it ends, or sometimes, like, whatever happen. But then what about the each and every single toxic situation, fight, thoughts, bully, or like which is happening day by day, week, like, is it going to make him weaker? Like, sometimes if it hits him, is he really going to forget his path? Like, will it be enough, like me loving him, supporting him, will it be enough? Or to protect, like to face him, not protect, to face him the outside world, like the situation how it is, right? uh, for every single mother will know with a child, even. So that is what my worry is.
I completely understand your worries. Being a parent, every parent goes through these kind of worries, ifs and buts, what will happen, aage kya hoga, as children grow, there will be a lot of questions coming up. He or she will have to face a lot of situations. But what I know is until and unless we as parents don't accept it and don't, face the situation, nothing will happen, because ultimately children see us, how we
Okay, I'll
behave
give
and
you
how
a
we
exact.
accept.
Okay, I'll give you a exact situation. Like in school, he has to sign a form. There is a two columns, one mother's sign and father's sign. Even the child, even the class teacher is telling him, so you cannot. You have to sign, get it signed both. And but the children are also asking why your father, like you can't join this competition because you will need both parents signature. So he didn't, like he didn't sign it, and he came back. And he said, I'm not going to join that. Everybody is saying both parents signature is required, and you can't have, you can only have one. So I told him, you tell them she is my mother and father too. She will sign both the columns, and she like. But this becomes too much for them. How do I manage that? Like how many times I can explain this to him, or the teacher, or any authority, that that, like, they need, like, perspective needs to be changed, right? Every family cannot be a family, a member of three, like
Yeah,
this kind of
absolutely, I agree
situation.
with
Yeah.
you. Yes. So, like, as as far as I know, it's not only like you, there are many single parents who have definitely, I feel, must have experienced this kind of situation. Me, myself, I have also faced this kind of situation in schools. Currently, I was going through my daughter's admission procedures, and they were very good schools here who did not give her admission because of these kind of single parent thing, that you husband ka signature chahiye, father ka signature kahan hai. So
Yeah, yeah.
do you think that at the same time, have being surrounded by these kind of people, it would be good? Or and somewhere even you need to bring in a therapist, or talk to school authorities, talk to your lawyer. Because for me, I talked with my lawyer and I submitted an affidavit saying that I am solely responsible. I have not got legal divorce yet, because the as you know कि हमारा इंडिया में कितना टाइम लगता है डिवोर्सेस लीगली सेपरेट होने में, लीगली डिवोर्स लेने में कितना टाइम लग जाता है. सो देन व्हाट आर यू गोइंग टू डू? यू हैव टू फेस द सिचुएशन, राइट? कभी ना कभी सब सिचुएशंस आने ही वाला है. सो यू हैव टू बी फर्म, you have to be strong, and most important, you have to accept those situations with a smile, in the way that it's like कई बार हम लोग बोलते हैं कि हम लोग ने सिचुएशन एक्सेप्ट
Means
किया है,
for
बट
him,
इंटरनली
like how he is going to face the children, or anybody, parents, somebody in a gathering, somebody slowly in a train, like we're traveling in a train, somebody called him and told him, see, everybody is traveling with their parents, where is your father? He didn't come. Why he didn't come? So the child ran, to me, after traveling for 2 days. The train was late for 18 hours, and that the co-traveler passenger, somebody called him and said that, asked that, and he came and told me, how do I do that? I just pacified him. I said, don't reply to those questions. Just don't ask, just don't reply, just don't respond. They want to probably ask, normal, they are very inquisitive, so you do not, you, if you are not comfortable, you don't answer that question. So, like, slowly, for in every situation, he will come to me, talk to me, and I give him an answer. But is there any end to it? Like, that is what my question is. Or any school children is saying something to him. So I don't
Good
want
evening.
him to.
Good evening.
Yeah, who's this?
I'm Nitya here, Nitya
Oh,
Srinivasan.
yeah, yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
Nitya.
Hi. I think I'm long back because I was held up with my classes. I was held up with all those things. Today,
Okay.
I real firstly, I'm sorry if I've cut in between when anyone is talking because I just want to pop in and just pour in the views. I really liked what Kakli ma'am and Vanshika ma'am said. Yes, actually, on but there was some situation. I don't know whether I believe some people believe in astrology or whatever. What that is all secondary. Even I have gone through this phase. Okay, and can I share it?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Or if somebody wants to talk, then I will give them the chance and then I'll come back.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, Vanshika, thanks, ma'am. So
Welcome.
the reason is, Kakli ma'am and Vanshika ma'am said very nicely. What Vanshika ma'am says also right. What Kakli ma'am see what at that point of time you're right. We cannot run away from the situation. We have to accept the situation, and that is not 1% right. That is 100% right. So if I had to tell you, I can tell lot of things, and I don't want to go in the depression mood or anything like that. But there was a time, during even I have gone through. I've had nightmares and my mother was dying in the last stage of cancer. People believe it or not, I had people, my own husband's friends, their relatives, that this one. I, in fact, frankly, I had one or two people who were a little bit in favor for me. That also I can say only some 35 to 50%. Only 2% probably who understood something. Rest everybody said it was my bad time. It was my Saturday start. It was my that time. I understand. But at that point of time, the boy, as he says, what we are going to do the situation, as he say, see, I have gone through a situation thinking about myself as a mother when my daughter was 6 years old. As she says in the railway station, some people are very Papa kahan hai or Mama, whatever it is. I under all that has put, but at that point of time, I would say a mother's her energy depletes so badly, but she has to be strong. But already, at that point of time, I was already obviously an emotional sensitive person when I was. Now I think probably after my mother passed away, my parents passed away, I think their legacies, or I think God has showered that strength onto me to some extent. See, during my monthly periods, I do get mood swings and immediately I go down. Even last week, I went to my in-laws place, and I don't know how my sister-in-law, I just asked her if I can take some more time to talk with your permission.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Every time, now my mother-in-law is admitted. I don't want to tell anything, wish anybody anything bad. And that's not me. See, my husband has never called my parents and asked how's their health and all. In fact, when we were going through separation, when we were going through the tough time, just a minute, ma'am, just a minute.
Kakali, you can go ahead. Meantime, when Nitya is back. Are you there, Kakali? Anyone else who wants to share? Okay, till the time Nitya comes back, I would like to share some of my views about how to talk to children about our divorce and separation. So the most important thing that comes into our mind is how to break the news. So, if possible, both the parents can sit down together and share the news of their divorce or tell their child that we are getting separated. To head off potential sources of conflict, both parents should agree ahead of time about what to say. This is a time when children need to be reassured, and the best way to show them is that you both are still on the same page when it comes to parenting. Even if it's not true, or even if only one parent has got this. So if only one parent is there in this conversation, then the parent who's going to be most around with the child should share this news. Now comes the most important thing is that how do we decide what to say to the child? What you say will depend on the age and the maturity of the child, as we discussed earlier. You don't want to overwhelm your children with details, and it is generally better to let them ask questions rather than try to give them a lot of information. Children sometimes wonder about what all changes will happen, when parents are separating or they are getting divorced. As we know that legally getting divorced takes a lot of time. So in the meantime, you can tell your children that we are separated now with the intention of divorcing, that it may take some time, but for now, think of us as divorced. If there's a custody disagreement, a child friendly way to explain this might be you can say something like, we both love you, we want to be around you. We are trying to figure this out, and we will do which is best for you. We don't agree on a lot of things, but we are going to figure it out as adults. One of the good rule of thumb is to avoid discussing the financial settlements with children or sharing any information that makes one spouse look bad. You want to avoid unnecessary conflict as much as possible and try to preserve a healthy parent child relationship, which is very important for a child's well being. How kids may react. Kids can react in many different ways to a divorce or a separation announcement. If there has been a lot of fighting in the home, some children may actually feel relieved to hear about a divorce or a separation. But it is more common for children to feel upset or even guilty, as somebody said that, the child was blaming himself or herself for the parents getting separated or divorced. However, your children react, it is important to listen to them and take their concerns also seriously, while making it clear that divorce is not something it's their fault, or that parents are getting separated not because of the child itself, but because there are some things that we both don't agree upon. Children often start worrying about what future will look like, especially teenagers. They feel uh, a lot of things, and they might even get this idea of what if my parent remarries. So I would say that when this kind of thing comes in your child's mind, please be very precise and clear, and don't give them false hopes, that you will remarry, or you will not remarry. Don't, you just say that whatever the situation is, but currently I want to focus on you, and nothing can replace you. So that helps the child to build his own self esteem. For worries that are more immediate, like the day-to-day schedules, like how it was going before the separation or divorce, you can decide on certain things like planning the schedule ahead on time, and discussing these little details with children will help them to also organize better and adjust with the situation better.
Can I talk, ma'am?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry because my daughter was waiting, so that's the reason I had to open and give it. Firstly, sorry. So it is actually, I really like the topic. I would not say, mostly people say and they leave the group because some may feel a little bit insecure to tell or something. So I can say it was in 2016, and that was a peak time. I can say peak time. I went under depression. I went under this, and my parents were old. My mother was in the last stage of cancer, which I didn't know. Which means she was taking treatment from 2010. She was diagnosed, and so in the 2016 when summer vacation came, I don't want to tell everything, and it's a waste of time because I have to give everybody chance to talk and express, and I don't want to this one. So at that point of time, even in fact, that was the last time, that was the last summer vacation. My daughter was just going to be 6 in September, and we went in May. So we can say it's 5.5 years she was. And that was the time, I spent with my mother. I can say she also came down. And when my parents, after the vacation, when we went to Bangalore, and then when we came back, my husband never even welcomed her. And when I asked her after she's gone, it's because he's telling, it's because you went and complained about us to your parents. If I don't complain, now you tell me, ma'am, Vanshika, ma'am, if I don't go and tell my parents, who else will I go? Now today, both my parents are gone. Whom will I go see? Last week, when I went to my in-laws, I cleared everything for my sister-in-law. In fact, my in-laws, my sister-in-law, my husband, my in-laws, they're never ready to accept their fault. I am not saying I have done best. Even I have also done. Okay, I was married at the age of 23. I was being immature. I didn't know how to go about it. I did. Okay. I am telling you, if I was this Nitya today, I must have definitely not got married. But going through the divorce is not an easy joke. You say it's not a solution, but there are some, your physical also has been happened, but he's not bad, he's very orthodox. But the reason is basically whatever they say I have to listen. But some things, okay, I say okay, and sort of everything, it will not be possible for me to say. Because I remember last year when I went again, when mood swings was there, and I told this to my father-in-law. Father-in-law said, because you were bad mouthing about us to others, and that is a sin you have got. So, he's manipulating and he's emotionally blackmailing me. Even now, also, my sister in law said, yeah, because her mother is admitted now in the hospital. See, the day when my mother, see, it's your mother, my mother, everybody's mother. Health is health. According to me, health is health. Right, ma'am?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Your emotional, mental, physical health is very, very important.
Important, right? So, when I was already done, they were depleting. And I didn't see my sister-in-law, though she stays in Australia, this year itself she made 2 visits. All that she didn't visit with her husband and child in April, but she came to visit her mother as her mother was not well. Now again she said now she might extend because my mother-in-law is admitted. When my mother was in the last stage of cancer, my husband said, "You're just doing this drama. How can I? You tell me logically, all of you in this group, and how can an emotionally, or sorry, an advanced stage, a terminally ill cancer patient, not only cancer, any patient, palliative patient, anyone, how can they be dramatic? Can you tell me the answer? Can you tell me the answer?" He told me like that. Then I asked him. Then I asked this last week in my in-laws place, my sister-in-law. He said, even you also told about our parents to die. Because, see, I have told in the sense because they are going on harassing me. I have not said that go die and all these things to them. But they have told. I was emotionally, I have never had single this one. And last year, and in 2016, in 2017, January, when I was in my in-laws day, my sister-in-law asked me, why your daughter didn't wish her father? That is my father. I said, she wished. Then I took this topic. This time last week, I asked her why you didn't talk to my mother and ask her. But even all this, when my mother was having cancer, not even once she has called my mother and spoken my sister-in-law. And I asked her, she says, I will not talk to your sister-in-law. She said, I'm sorry, I will not talk to your mother-in-law. Sorry, I will not talk to my mother. That is my, she will not talk, my sister, husband's sister will not talk to my mother because she says, I don't like her mother. I don't like that lady. I'm sorry, I don't like her, she said. Then same thing, I didn't say anything. I don't expect same thing, but this is what she said to me. This is what she said to me. Like, I don't like your mother, I don't like your this one, so I didn't call her. But the same thing I didn't have. But then after I landed Delhi, I sent a WhatsApp message. Whatever it is, I just wrote to her in WhatsApp stating that, listen, mother is always a mother. I didn't want it because I know if I go with your mother, my mother, if it comes, it's only going to lead. In fact, as has gone till divorce, and I will tell you that I will come next topic. I will come first. I wrote to her saying that after I landed Delhi, when I was going in the car to Gurgaon, we are all, she said, we are all one family. You have come to our house. For you, it is okay, I'll pay, but your parents and all, I will not consider, she said. I didn't say that. Then I wrote her an email. I wrote her a WhatsApp message after I landed Delhi. As we are all one family, whatever it is, I miss my parents. Every girl will truly miss one's beloved parent. It is not matter of dislike. She is my mother and I adore her through though physically not present. I understand how much he has done. Okay. However, whatever one says, they are my parents. I wrote to her this way. I wrote her in simple English and I told her this. You will not believe. And when I was going through the phase of that separation, I didn't know what to do. I said, what happens if my daughter grows up? Who's going to fund? My husband said, you are not going to get any penny. You are not going to, all that is there. But when he said this, so many things is going, and everything was doubt. Like, I'm going to take their son's money, mine. So many things. So many things were going on. I didn't want to take any negative shit or anything. At that point of time, excuse me. So at that point of time, I was going through that, and then I don't know. I had this finger mapping. I was working with a skill frog. There, I met one person, and then he told me this. You just meet a second. He told me, give me two tips. One, keep for emotional well-being, one psychologist, one counselor, and second one, go to an advocate and just approach. Immediately, I don't know. I just approach one advocate. And advocate says all these things, all this. I will not delay. If you want to go for divorce, you can go. I'll press the green button. That's one. And then when I brought my mother back to Delhi to talk, he was not even ready to talk. Then I called my advocate, and then my advocate asked my husband, and he spoke very sweetly to my advocate, and he says, oh no, I'll sort out everything, I will sort out each and everything, you don't worry. And then when my mother was in the I said like May 17th she died, and May 15th or something, I had I was already down, crying loudly, and I was telling all this. Then he didn't even bother, and I had even recorded his voice, what he spoke. So I can show. My advocate heard, and he says, my goodness, he's talking to you like this. He never even, the way he was talking to me was so nice, so sweet. Then she said, you be very careful. He's like a snake would. He's gem of in corporate field. He's a gem of a person. He doesn't drink. He's teetotaler, and he doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't eat non-veg. Everything. But this is what has happened. I'm sorry for taking long time, but I had to just tell you out, pour it out. That's it, ma'am. Thank you.
That's absolutely fine. Thank you for sharing, Nitya. Anybody else who wanted to share something about their experiences?
Ma'am, but you should be mentally. So I would say one should have a clear mentality. They want to go for it. I would say yes. Now I feel when I got married only, I should have gone. I was at that point of time, I was just worried, okay, at the age of 27, who will marry me, second marriage, who will be. See, everything we keep only worrying about others, but at the same time, we are not living for ourselves. Then I don't know, I started doing things on my own. In fact, my sister and I said, you are always doing things. I never respected my parents. I don't know what. Whenever they come, I take care of them, I go cook for them, I do. What else they expect? Once my father-in-law told me this directly. Whatever we say, you have to means you have to tolerate. I said everything I cannot tolerate. I can't take shit.
But all this at the end, it's made you more stronger, Don't you think so?
That is there,
Every situation, yes.
Whatever it is, I lost my parents, right? You never even bothered. Then why do you expect me also to be very cordial? Okay, that is not my culture. Brevi, that is her culture. I don't like her. My mother, she has told that. Now, so the answer is very clear from my sister that she doesn't like me. I don't like that lady. I don't like this one, she said. No need to like. You don't need to like anybody. I would say everyone over you. You don't need to like anyone. At least you live for yourself and you take care. But don't stop the other person from going to her, whether it's a man or a woman. If a man's husband's parents are not well, the husband wants to let him go. If wife's parents are not well, if she wants to let her go. Why are people this one? No, she cannot go. How? Who will cook? Who? 1 month she is going. What is wrong? What nonsense? I don't understand in our this one. I'm sorry, it's not our culture or our. But what is this? Why the differentiation?
Yeah, it's all because of our society and the kind of conditioning we have been through.
Correct.
Thanks so much for sharing.
Welcome, ma'am. You can ask me more. I can tell. There are lots. That's what I would say. If I give you a white sheet, there will always be one black dot to point out. It's like that.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of other calls, then you can share
Sure,
the other things that you have.
Sure,
yeah. Thank you, Nitya.
Yeah, welcome.
Anybody else who would like to share or talk about something?
Yeah, Vanshika, I just wanted to understand how to address this absence of another person or partner. How to handle the situation with the kid. What are the things that we need to tell him, because obviously kids are small, they don't understand all this setup or separation or divorces, right? So what are the dialogues that should happen? uh, are they is it too soon for them, or is it too much for them to take it, or it's better to hide it for some time and then reveal it once they get into the teenage and
Okay, okay. So I would like to ask you first, Lata, that what's your child's age currently?
he is 8, about to be 9 next year. This year, I mean, he'll be 9 this year, yeah.
Okay, and when did you got, have you got, like, are you living separately or have you got divorced?
So we have been living separately for quite a long time now. I think since the start we have been separated, but yeah, officially, or kind of in our minds now, it's been, I think, 2 to 3 years now. So not officially separate, not officially divorced, but yeah, separated.
Okay, and when, like, are you staying alone or you are with
I'm
staying with
staying
your
alone.
parents?
I'm staying alone with my kid.
Okay, okay. Have you considered consulting a psychologist or therapist, or have you talked to somebody in your family or something? Have you taken any sort of help for this?
Uh, Parents have been. My mother is there, so she keeps coming. In a year for 1 month or so. But yeah, I mean that is it. I mean they are aware. Everyone is aware of the situation, and this is how it is. I mean, I'm not sure if I'll be going for the legal divorce. That courage is still not there. But so far, it's been, I think, since the start, I have been handling him alone only. So he does ask questions why father is not around. So I keep telling him that his work is there, he cannot come, and that is how he's like in neighborhood. Both the parents are staying together while my father is not around. So such questions keep coming. I keep on telling him that because of his work commitments and other commitments, he cannot be with us.
Okay, and what's the reason for living separately?
Earlier, it was actually the same because of the location. He doesn't prefer to stay over here. I'm from Pune and he is from Mumbai. He doesn't prefer to stay in Pune, and I do not prefer because my in-laws, they are very, very difficult to handle. And if I move to Mumbai, they'll make my life hell. Even he is not staying with them, but he is staying nearby alone only. He is not staying with them because it's very difficult to stay with them. Different level people. So, but to be their support, he is staying some 1.5 to 2 kilometers away from them. But yeah, he doesn't prefer Pune, and that is how it has been since the start, I think. So I have managed everything alone since the start, be it pregnancy or all these 8 years.
Okay, so does the father interact with the child?
Yeah, he used to visit us as well in a month or so, maybe quarterly or in 2 months, but just for 3 to 4 days maximum in a month. So earlier he used to stay, but now we have stopped that, and he sometimes come in the morning and then leaves in the evening.
Okay.
Hmm.
And like, have you guys talked about, like, when will we start living together or something like that, or like you
We
want to
tried
file a
all the
divorce or something like this?
we have tried all the ways, but yeah, it is getting. I don't think it will happen actually. So we have tried our ways.
Okay. Have you seeked some therapist for yourself Or did you guys consider couple counseling or something like that?
No, we haven't considered. We thought of, but we have not visited anyone or taken any therapy or counseling.
Okay, so what is it that you need to do, or what is it that you want to do, Like, are you clear in your mind about this whole situation that you want to be remain like this?
Yeah, so because we have discussed a lot and he cannot move here, I cannot move there. So that is how, and even if we try to live together, the fights happen within 3, 4 days only. So we have tried our ways to stay together or to mend ways, but it is getting for few days it will be okay. But then after few days, the fights and all, they all start again.
Okay, okay,
Mm.
okay. So for you, I think like you should like consider things like, be honest with the child. And since like his father interacting currently also in the situation, or he has stopped.
In December he did, but after that I have stopped talking to him or taking his calls because some scenario had happened because he has that habit of lying every time, even and on small things where the it is not needed. Even I'm quite adjusting. I don't. I prefer brutal truth over the sweet lies. But all those things keep on happening. So I have thought about it that his nature is not gonna change. He's not gonna mend his ways and all. He'll be like that. So which so after that I have stopped talking to him. I think yeah.
Okay, so what I would like to ask
Hi,
you is,
Vanchika. I have to leave the
Mm.
call.
yeah,
We are having this Lohri celebration going on, so our neighbors have been waiting for some time. So
okay,
I have to
no
leave now.
problem.
Okay, okay. You carry on.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Akarma. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I would like to say that, first of all, since you are currently not deciding to go for a divorce, then it's better to, tell your child, be honest that currently, your father is working in some other place, I'm working in some other place. So we will be meeting together some or the other time whenever, we both get time together or something like that. And be honest and don't share so many things. We always say that since your child is 9 years old, and 6 to 12 years of age is the age, where children will ask you a lot of questions, and they
Mm.
will come up with new questions every day. So,
Mm.
you just be honest, be very clear, because when you are yourself clear, then your child will not have so many questions.
Mm.
If you
Mm.
give them a honest and clear reply, then they will not keep on asking the same question. And you also keep, whenever they ask, you also keep repeating those, so that will help, that will go in their subconscious mind ki chalo, okay,
Mm.
currently we are separately living separately, and sometime my father will come or visit, or we will go sometime.
Mm. Mm.
And if possible, you and your husband should, if it's possible for both of you, you can, together explain it to him, how is it that we are going to live separately like this for some time,
Correct.
and something like that, give them that. एक वो श्योरिटी चाहिए होती है बच्चे को. बच्चे हर बार क्वेश्चन तभी पूछते हैं जब उनको ना कहीं डाउट लगता है या श्योरिटी नहीं होती है, क्योंकि कई बार वो मम्मा को ही देख रहे होते हैं कि मम्मा कितनी कंफ्यूज है, so
हाँ.
in that case, when you talk to them, and don't bad mouth about your
No, no,
husband.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
the,
that's very important.
but yeah, I think you said it right. It is better to not to open all the complete book, and it is because they also need to feel secured and safe. They should not feel that something is missing out, and they'll also छोटा दिल करके बैठ जाएंगे कि यार क्या हो गया करके.
Yeah, so you should give them those answers which are age appropriate on, and also with the kind of the maturity level they are, handling the things. So uska maturity level एक teenager से अलग होगा. So when he grows up a bit, then you can slowly start, telling him, this is like, this situation is going to be like this, or it's, we are going to work out on this. And always tell your children that, whatever it is between the partners, but a child is very, very important to both of you. So you both love him so much, and reassure that we will love you, we are always there, and you are not the reason for our separation. So कई बार बच्चों को ये बहुत गिल्ट आता है कि मतलब मेरे पेरेंट्स मेरी वजह से अलग रह रहे हैं, ये मैंने बहुत केसेस में देखा है एज अ coach. So there you can tell your child that, no, this is not the case. Sometimes people change
Hmm. But
and we have different needs. Yeah.
do you think कि इसका साइकोलॉजिकली बच्चों पे इफेक्ट होता है? बिकॉज आई थिंक स्टार्टिंग में आई हैड स्पोकन विद अ काउंसलर, उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि डेफिनेटली योर चाइल्ड विल हैव सम इश्यूज, विल हैव सम साइकोलॉजिकल इश्यूज. सो आई शॉक्ड हिम ऑफ एट दैट टाइम दैट आप ऐसे क्यों बोल रहे हो, ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं होता, ऐसे क्यों होगा, ही इज गोइंग टू हैव अ नॉर्मल चाइल्डहुड. बट ही सेड कि नहीं, ये एक सेटअप है, और ये सेटअप अगर मिसिंग होता है तो डेफिनेटली ये साइकोलॉजिकल इम्पैक्ट होगा, और उसकी ग्रोथ में डेफिनेटली इम्पैक्ट होगा. तो
See, every setup has some advantages and some disadvantages, right? And so it's like, I would always say that, it's better to leave a situation where, a toxic, if you are living in a toxic environment, that is more harmful than being in this kind of setup where you are currently. So वो तो होगा ही, इम्पैक्ट होगा, बट इट डिपेंड्स अगेन हम लोग कैसी बच्चों को अपब्रिंगिंग करते हैं, उनकी कंडीशनिंग कैसे करते हैं. अगर हम लोग ही ये सिचुएशन को एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे, मूव ऑन नहीं करेंगे पॉजिटिव वे में, तो बच्चे पे भी अफेक्ट आएगा. एंड देर आर गोइंग टू बी सम और दी अदर इम्पैक्ट्स होंगे, बट इट कैन बी गुड इम्पैक्ट, इट कैन बी अ बैड इम्पैक्ट. सो some of the things that we need is that we need to prepare ourselves for every situation, right? कोई भी हम लोग डिसीजन लेते हैं तो we take that decision keeping in mind that okay, these are going to be some of the impacts. It's okay, we will handle it when time comes. We can take a lot of help. Joining a single parent community really helps. I myself have joined a single parent community, and when children, they see that okay, मतलब हमारा अकेले का ऐसा setup नहीं है. There are a lot of people who are single parents, and when children interact with those kind of in those kind of setups, then they start, realizing things, accepting things, and फिर उस तरह का impact I don't think आता है. जहां तक मैंने देखा है, मैंने बहुत सिंगल पेरेंट्स से बात किया है, काउंसलिंग किया है. So lot of people tell me that, my child was suffering more when he was in a toxic environment. So when I have come to this kind of setup, no matter थोड़े insecurities होंगी, कुछ कुछ चीजें हो सकती हैं, but वो impact को हम ठीक कर सकते हैं. It's very difficult to repair a child.
ट्रू ट्रू ट्रू. टॉक्सिक, हाँ, एनवायरनमेंट में तो फोकस रहता भी नहीं है बच्चे के ऊपर, बिकॉज 10 चीजें और दिमाग में घूमती रहती हैं. सो एटलीस्ट
Yeah,
इसमें वी हैव टू जस्ट फोकस ऑन द किड्स. या
absolutely. Because at the end of the day, बच्चों को सबसे ज्यादा क्या चाहिए? एक अच्छा healthy environment.
एग्जैक्टली.
चाहे वो environment में आपके और फैमिली, अभी तो फैमिली का कितना डेफिनेशन चेंज हो रहा है. इवन इन स्कूल बुक्स, एवरीथिंग, थिंग्स आर चेंजिंग. भी हम लोगों को पता नहीं चलता है, बट इफ वी आर अवेयर, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स हैपनिंग schools में, सब जगह में.
आई थिंक
Because I have been teaching in schools as well, so I know, they have started accepting queer communities and single parent families. So
अच्छा,
it's okay. Yeah,
इससे
yeah.
स्कूल्स, हाँ,
Somewhere,
इससे स्कूल्स काफी कम है अभी तो. हमारे इसके भी जो स्कूल है इसमें भी थोड़ा सा दे जस्ट वांट टू फोकस ऑन एकेडमिक्स. जो बच्चे अच्छे करेंगे उन्हीं को दिल टेक इट फॉरवर्ड एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स आर देयर. नहीं तो फिर दिल से कि आपके बच्चों को हेल्प चाहिए, साइकोलॉजिकल इश्यूज हो रहे हैं, दे सी इट कि पेरेंट्स में
हाँ हाँ, दे ऑफन ब्लेम इट टू द चाइल्ड के बच्चे का सिंगल पेरेंट
ऑब्जर्व
उसको कुछ
करते हैं,
प्रॉब्लम है.
ऑब्जर्व करते हैं कि दूसरा पेरेंट आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है मीटिंग्स में, एंड देन दे आस्क क्वेश्चंस एंड देन दे अंडरस्टैंड एंड दे पिन पॉइंट
हाँ
कि हो सकता है शायद.
हाँ
इसकी वजह से होगा एंड ऑल।
और अभी अगर मतलब जस्ट हमारे केसेस चल ही रहे हैं, बीच में कुछ डिसीजन नहीं है, सेपरेटेड है अभी, वो फैमिली राइट अबाउट योर फैमिली पूरे क्लास के सामने उठा के टेल अस अबाउट योर फैमिली, तो मैं बच्चे को क्या बोलूं? वो क्या बताएगा? कि
हाँ
मैं झूठ सिखाऊं कि सच सिखाऊं कि वी आर सेपरेटेड, ही वर्क्स इन, ही स्टेज इन सम अदर प्लेस और ही वर्क्स आउटसाइड? झूठ
हाँ
सिखा दूं? वो अपने आप बना के बोल दिया आज किसी को, मेरे माय फादर इज इन मिलिट्री, मैं क्या बोलूं उसको? मैं ये उसका मैकेनिज्म है, तो मुझे लग रहा है अरे मुझे भी ये बोलना चाहिए, वो तो मेरे से स्मार्ट है। तो सोशल एटमॉस्फेयर को मतलब कैसे डील करे? सच से, सच्चाई से, कि सच्चाई की लेकिन कोई कदर ही नहीं है और लोग उसको आपको पुल डाउन करते हैं।
हाँ
झूठ बोल दो तो लगता है कि चलो और अगला क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछेगा,
हाँ,
बट
माय
झूठ पे तो
फैमिली का
बेट नहीं हो सकता ना
तो माय
कुछ।
फैमिली का जो चलता है ना, ये जो टॉपिक, ये तो पूरा 2-3 साल तक चलता है। ये 6, 7, 8, 9 तक देखा है कि माय फैमिली का लिख के आओ, फिर आप पिक्चर्स लगाओ, ये लगाओ वो लगाओ। आई थिंक क्यों करना है इन सबको ये सब? बिकॉज काफी लोग तो ऐसे भी हैं कि जो, जैसे एक्ट्रेस कितनी है हमारे यहाँ पे, राइट, जो जिन्होंने पूरे
मैं
बच्चा
वैसे ही
अडॉप्ट
लिख
किया
के
हुआ
भेज
है,
देती हूँ। हाँ हाँ, मैं फादर है तो
लता
फादर का
मैम,
नाम फोटो लिख के भेज देती हूँ, लेकिन जब बोलने के लिए बच्चे को बोलता है सबके सामने, वंशिका, हम लोग बहुत प्रैक्टिकल एक आपसे सॉल्यूशन पूछ रहे हैं। इवन मेरे लिए भी एक पूरे गैदरिंग में पूछ लिया, हस्बैंड क्या करते हैं, कहाँ है, क्या हुआ हो रहा है? एक तो मैं झूठ बोलूं कि सच बोलूं? मेरे बच्चे ने जैसे आज बोल दिया ही इज इन मिलिट्री, तो
हम्म
नहीं मिलते नहीं आते ऐसा मतलब है ना?
हम्म
तो
आई
उसने अपना
फील
मैकेनिज्म बना दिया, क्या करे
सबसे,
ये?
सी
हम्म।
हम लोग जो इंडियन सोसाइटी में रहते हैं वहां पे ये सब क्वेश्चंस बहुत आएंगे और लोग जानबूझ के
यस मैम।
करेंगे जहाँ
नहीं नहीं,
पे।
तो क्या प्रैक्टिकल इसका
हाँ,
आंसर क्या देना है मतलब?
आंसर इन द सेंस
ट्रूथ,
मैम, हर एक को आंसर देना जरूरी क्यों है? बोलो कि तेरा
नंबर
मैटर
नंबर
है।
चाहिए ना।
इट इज
फैमिली,
नॉट
राइट
नेसेसरी।
अबाउट योर फैमिली में 10 नंबर होते हैं, उसको पूरे क्लास के सामने उठा के पूछेगा तो क्या
You
बोलना है
strongly
मैम?
say and you talk to the authorities कि this kind of behavior will not do.
वंशिका, ये
यस
स्कूल में
मैम।
पूरा हमने बोल दिया, पर नीचे बच्चे प्लेग्राउंड में भी खेलते हैं तो भी वहां पे दे नो इट कि चलो इसके नहीं दिखते हैं फादर, तो मतलब कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम है। तो इससे क्वेश्चन पूछो कि कहाँ है, क्या हुआ, कौन, देखो मार पड़ेगी तो तू कहाँ ही जाएगा, कौन करेगा, एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स कम। तो हम किस किस को बोलते रहेंगे ना, मतलब
मतलब
ठीक है।
पैट्रियर्कल सोसाइटी का जो चैलेंजेस है, जब मतलब फादर बेस्ड होता है, जैसे मैं बोलूं, कभी कभी वो लोग बाय डिफॉल्ट मतलब लेता है, नाम लेता है जब ना, पेरेंट्स की जगह पे फादर्स मदर्स, बाय डिफॉल्ट फादर्स के नाम पे भी मेरा नाम ही लिख देते हैं, मतलब कंप्यूटराइज्ड फादर्स नेम पे भी वो लोग पहला नाम ही लेते हैं, मतलब एज इफ दे आर द गार्डियन एंड पेरेंट। पैट्रियर्कल सोसाइटी जो है, अभी तो थैंक गॉड के मदर्स नेम के लिए जगह होता है, पहले तो वो भी नहीं होता था। तो
अभी
इतना
काफी
तो शायद
हाँ
आपको
लीगली
भी,
भी
आपके
चेंज हो
पास,
रहा है।
हाँ, तो आपके पास भी इस बात का आंसर नहीं होगा। मैं जस्ट पूछ रही थी कि मैक्सिमम आप जो एज अ कोच आप लोगों से बात करते हैं, तो व्हाट इज द इजीएस्ट वे टू डील विथ इट, के उसको अ, मतलब या तो ट्रूथफुली आंसर इट और जस्ट अवॉइड इट, और कि लेकिन मतलब प्रैक्टिकल सिचुएशन है, क्लास में फैमिली के बारे में बताओ, या फादर, तुम्हारे फादर क्या करते हैं, सब 10 लोगों के सामने पूछा, आपका हस्बैंड क्या करते हैं, किधर है, अच्छा आए नहीं, तो क्या क्या बोलना है? ना हाँ से तो होता नहीं है ना, वो बॉडी लैंग्वेज में ही दिख जाता है और तभी उनका भी बॉडी लैंग्वेज चेंज हो जाता है। तो प्रैक्टिकल सॉल्यूशन मतलब लोग क्या अपनाते हैं इस हाल में? जो लोग बहुत सालों से, आई होप कि बहुत सालों से, बहुत मैंने स्ट्रॉन्ग वुमेन देखा है, सिंगल हैंडेडली सब कुछ मैनेज कर रहे हैं, सब कुछ, दे आर रनिंग देयर ओन बिजनेस एंड फ्लरिशिंग, चाइल्ड केयर, एवरीथिंग दे आर डूइंग। तो वो कैसे, वो तो सेटल होने के बाद, सक्सेसफुल होने के बाद आप कुछ भी बोलो, लेकिन उससे पहले जब जब ये सिचुएशन के अंदर हो आप, तब क्या बोले हम?
सी व्हाट आई डू इज समटाइम्स, मतलब जहाँ पे जरूरी होता है मैं सच बोलती हूँ, जहाँ पे जरूरी नहीं है मैं अवॉइड करती हूँ। सो यू नीड टू सी इवन अंडरस्टैंड द सिचुएशन कि ये सिचुएशन में सच बोलना चाहिए या यहाँ पे
अच्छा,
बोलने की
तो
जरूरत ही नहीं है।
तो
तो
सच में
आलतू
मैं क्या
फालतू
बोलूं,
लोग होते।
वी आर सेपरेटेड लाइक
हाँ,
दैट? और
यस
बच्चे
आई
को क्या
आई
बोलूं, दे
माई सेल्फ
आवर पेरेंट्स आर सेपरेटेड?
कि हम लोग अलग रहते हैं बट वी बोथ लव यू सो मच एंड वील बी
नो नो,
देयर, वी
बच्चा
बोथ आर देयर फॉर
दूसरे बच्चे को क्या आंसर करे या दूसरे एडल्ट को क्या आंसर करे? माय पेरेंट्स आर सेपरेटेड, लाइक दैट कैन दे से?
यू। यस दे कैन से। क्योंकि
Ma'am, if
मेरे
it is
हम
required, you
लोग के
can tell. As she says, if it is
ऐसे
required, you can tell.
एग्जैक्टली सो यू नीड टू असेस द सिचुएशन कि कहाँ पे
No, no,
आपको
not
सच
me,
बोलना है
not me. When the child is in that situation alone with
हाँ
others, what do I tell him that you can straight away tell this, say this? Can I teach him that? Like you
यस
tell
यू
them
नीड टू
my
टीच
parents
हिम
are
दैट
separated.
बिकॉज समवेयर डाउन द लाइन ये
Hmm.
सिचुएशन कभी ना कभी आना ही है बच्चे को भी बोलना पड़ेगा क्योंकि नहीं
ठीक है, ठीक
बोलोगे
है.
तो
Okay,
लोग
okay.
ज्यादा तंग करेंगे
वही बोल देंगे मैं.
व्हाट
ठीक
आई
है.
हैव माई सेल्फ एक्सपीरियंस्ड
हाँ,
Ma'am,
correct,
yes,
correct.
ma'am. Even I see, though I'm not separate or something, and it will not happen. But like we are in the dilemma, every time we have fight, then I tell my husband, if it is going like this, then we need to separate. Then he says, okay, you apply for separation, you go. I am not stopping you. You know what? All this in today, my daughter is 12 years. I told you, 5.5. I underwent so my daughter was being 6. Right now, my daughter is 12. So my husband, when he says no, and this one now, even my now when he say, in fact, my daughter says very nicely. My father easily knows how to say the word no. ना बोलने के लिए बहुत आसान है पापा के लिए. And in fact, even she has told. In fact, she has asked me, why don't you go separate and why don't you live? Then
या
she has because now she has come to understand, though she is very mature for age, and now sometimes she doesn't favor me, sometimes she favors her father, like she this one. But this time when I came back from Coimbatore, my in-law stays, we are Tamilians. Okay, I'm from Bangalore, born brought up in Bangalore, and my husband is from Coimbatore, and we are living in Gurgaon from past 11 years. So this I have seen this, in my case, I had lot of interference with my in-laws. Lot. In fact, when we were, when I got married, when me and my husband used to talk loudly, my father-in-law used to come and bang the door. He says, "You're not keeping my son happy. You're always fighting with my son. This is the
Yeah,
culture
this
you're."
is because of the patriarchal system that is going on. So somewhere we need to break that. वो घर से ही
Ma'am,
शुरू
I
हुआ
try
तो
to
कि
break it. It has not happened. But I really, I can understand what the child of Lata or Kakli means. What ma'am, what they're going. I can understand that because there was a time where I have also felt the same. What will I answer to my daughter? What will my daughter tell at the age of 6? Tomorrow what will she say?
yeah
Today she's coming and telling me. Last year she told me, not now. Recently she told me a year back. If it's not doing, I think we should move. No, I think we should move to another place. Like that she was telling. We need to separate. Because now she has understood.
yeah but somewhere from the start we need to keep telling our children these things because हम लोग खुद ही avoid करेंगे ना तो वो लोग हम लोग तो चलो बड़े हैं हम लोग फिर सारी situations को handle कर सकते हैं but what about
Yes,
our
ma'am.
kids so कहीं ना कहीं धीरे धीरे we need to prepare our children for the same
Yes, ma'am, that's what. Because now so she's seeing, na, she says, "Oh my goodness, anything if you say it's so bad over here." She's understood that. Even my other friend was also with, and I told her. Then I went to this, she was a healer, and then she told me she's not exactly a coach, but since you're into professional coach, I don't know in Bangalore, there was this person named Ika Pillai. You know him? I don't know whether Ika Pillai, whether you know, because
no no I don't
he was into that. So he only guided me, why the keep a diver, you keep advocate one and keep a counseling for your mental health. And with that only I did it. Till now we are
that
not, because
goes
I was,
without saying because these kind of situations we need प्रोफेशनल हेल्प इसीलिए एडवोकेट का होना एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट का होना आपके लिए भी आपके बच्चे के लिए भी बहुत जरूरी है
Hanji, Zarur ma'am, very much
यस
needed. I would say that I understand at that point my financial struggle was my father was retired. My father got retired. I finished my 10th with great difficulty. They finished my graduation with great difficulty, and they put me in a reputed college in Bangalore, Jyotinivas College, and with all the way. Even today, the way they looked. But today my mother is gone, and today they will say, "Yeah, your mother was very nice." Why are you saying my mother was very nice after she's gone? Why do you
दिव्या
need to speak?
I think
Yes, ma'am.
Divya's hand has been up for a very long time. Divya, you wanted
Yes,
to
ma'am.
say
Sure,
something?
sure, please.
Nitya, I'll come back to you. And I think after 5 minutes, we'll have to wrap up the call also because it's time now.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. I have just heard everyone here and people who were with us before also. I have a common question for all the mothers who are going through this process. What do you think? Is it the major point of concern? Is it the self acceptance of the issue? Why do you think a child or anybody who points out the question becomes bigger than the issue? I hope my question is clear. Like,
Very clear and very well pointed out. That's what I'm trying to explain to the all the people.
okay, you know, I personally believe that in everybody's life, there will always be challenges, always. Nobody knows whose challenge is what.